Morning, everyone. Day 35. Up and at 'em early this morning. I think I woke up at 5 o'clock, ready to go. And I was surprised mostly everybody that stayed in the same area as I did was up too. So early morning for everybody. I got half a plan today, but it seems like every time I try to make a plan, it never comes to fruition. So I'm just gonna walk down the trail. When I get there, I get there. It's a conundrum out here. Sometimes the legs are just like, let's go, woohoo! And then the next day the legs are like, are you kidding me? So there's a lot of downhill today, thank goodness. I've been up on this ridge all day yesterday, and let's hope we can keep on trucking all day today. No more mental blocks. That was truly just all in my head. We talked about it last night. Everybody was talking about it. When I rolled in, I was like the last one to roll in. But I was really surprised because most of the guys that passed me early on, they got in late too. So I didn't feel so bad. It sort of cheered me up a little. Not that they got in late, but that I wasn't that late. So if that makes sense. So anyway, I'll let you know. You'll see the pictures and videos and documentary, whatever. My opinions, my sometimes rambling opinions. So I just found out someone it came through yesterday in a instant message or whatever those, I don't know, messaging. Old shipmate of mine, Miss Cindy Sykes. We were stationed together for, I don't know, a couple years in Sub Base Pearl Harbor. I heard she died within the last couple of days. She was a badass in her time. I got to Sub Base and I think she was a BM2. I was a BM3. I think I was a third at the time. It was like the second time I made BM3. I made BM3 a long time ago, and then I got busted down to steam induce and worked my way back up. So it was my second go around as BM3. And I got there. Her and who else was those women that they were running the show, buddy. All the Marianne and what was the other? Ruth Ann Little. Those women were in charge. They were large and in charge, baby. Blast from the past. I remember. Ruth Ann might not appreciate the story, but I do. I walked into Sub Base. Me and BM3 Wempy walked into Sub Base together. Got stationed there, and Ruth Ann and Keanu, Billy Keanu, I think his name. I remember Billy. Shout out to those guys. They were having a big argument. They were dating and they were having a huge argument. And me and Wimpy, Jim Wimpy, we're standing there looking at these guys like, what do we do? One of them's telling us one thing, the other one's telling us, no, don't do that, you do this. And they're still arguing. So we stay. It's one of those things. Anyway, shout out to Miss Cindy Sykes. Like I said, in her time, she was a badass. Fair winds and following seas, shipmate. Always hate to lose shipmates, but it's the way it goes. It's that time of life. We start getting up in age, we start losing all our old friends. So anyway, didn't mean to end on a sad note, but it's good to relive those days. Whew. This hill is killing me. Anyway, that's my story for now. Hope you guys are being safe. I'll touch back with you in a little bit. So, talking about Sub-Base Pearl Harbor, I was going to tell you guys a story. A little of my past. So, that same guy, Jim Wimpy, me and him. So when we got this Pearl Harbor, they made us riggers. And riggers are guys who go on the submarines and they pull equipment off the submarines. And the only way to do that, a lot of that equipment's really heavy. The only way to do that is put it on come-alongs, little lifts that hang them from the overhead of the submarine. And you got to get them down these really small passageways and out these little hatches. So you have to suspend the thing in the air and fly it through the air, so to speak. You carry it all the way out. Wow, my voice is really echoing out here. You basically suspend it in the air and use come-alongs to move it along as it goes through the passageway. So anyway, I ended up going from rigger to crane crew, which was pretty cool, but I had a really good time, met a lot of good people there. But anyway, so they have this sewage pump called R117, and they usually have civilians do it, the public works guys. And so they had one that needed to come out, and the powers that be decided, why don't we let our guys do it? We don't have to pay for it, because when the civilians do it, you have to pay public works for their guys to come in and do it. So they've called up, so at the time, by this time, Jim and I were the lead riggers at, for the most part, at the sub-base. So they call us up and say, hey, do you think you guys could pull out this pump? Well, of course, me and Jim would go, hell yeah, we can, no problem, we can do this. So, so we get down there, and then we started doing shifts. He would go down for 6-8 hours, and I'd go down for 6-8 hours, and we just go back and forth, and we got this pump, and we ended up rigging out this pump out of the sub. So later on, I don't know, a couple months later, they gave us a letter of commendation, and it was just a letter. And at the time, it was sort of funny. We thought it was funny at the time. It still is, but so the letter read something to the effect of, for duty above and beyond the normal, you know, the standard blurb they do, and then they put in their own words on what happened, and they explain what happened. And at the end it goes, it saved the Navy over $400,000, right? And then they gave us a certificate. It's a piece of paper that said, thank you for doing a great job. And me and Jim looked at each other afterwards. We were laughing. We were having a beer that night after they gave it to us. And he said, man, that's sort of messed up. We saved the Navy $400,000 and they gave us a piece of paper. So anyway, that's how it works in the Navy. They can't pay you for that, so they give you a piece of paper. They could at least given us a Navy Com or a Navy Achievement Medal, but no, we got letter of commendations. I thought it was funny, or maybe I did get a NAM for that, Navy Achievement Medal. Maybe that was my first NAM, I think. I don't remember. Anyway, it was the whole. They even put in there, we saved the Navy $400,000, and we didn't see a dime of it. Although that was badass. We were badass at sub-base, taking off fair water planes off of subs. Fair water planes are those big wings that stick out the side, the top of the sub, and what that is, you know, it makes the sub go up and down. And so when you take one of those fair water planes off, one of those wings off, you have a crane above you that's holding up. It's got straps on so it's holding it up. You know, it grabs a hold of it so it can't fall, you know. So you and the other riggers, you hook your safety line, you got a harness on, and you hook your safety line to the hook of the crane, so that if it falls, you don't fall too. but you still have slack in it because you got to you've got to be able to move around. So the way you get these things off is you put these wedges in between the, you know, where it meets the superstructure to, you know, there's a crack there. There's a, where basically it's on a big tapered pin, huge tapered pin. And this thing, so you stick these wedges in the crack in between there, and then you start beating it with 16-pound sledgehammers. So you're standing on this slippery ass sloped platform and you're swinging a 16-pound sledge, so you're sort of out of control with your weight anyway. And you swing this thing and you hit these wedges and it knocks it off a little bit. Then you swing it again, a couple of you, one on each side, and you're swinging. When it finally lets go, it slides off that pin. The whole fair water plane, it's like you're surfing. The whole thing swings out and you're just standing on there like you're on a big surfboard. Really, really cool event, but it's also pucker factor because when it slides at first, you got slack in your line, so you're on your own for the most part for balance. So it's not like you know, and you can grab your line and make it tighter, but anyway, I'm rambling again. It's just one of those stories. Did some cool stuff in the Navy, and I was fortunate in that way. Yeah, I was in Desert Storm. I always said I'd never want to do it again, but I'm glad I was there. I was on one of the ships, the USS Princeton, that we got blowed up. Yeah, we hit mines in the Persian Gulf during Desert Storm. I did a lot of stuff, and I was very fortunate to serve with some of the best sailors that I ever met on the Princeton during that time. Some people really showed their true colors and their heroism and their courage saving our ship, because, you know, when we hit those mines, hit is a relative term. They were acoustic mines, Italian, I think they call them mantra mines. Basically, the fantail, the flat end of the ship, the back end of the ship, cracked all the way around, all the way through. So the only thing holding the fantail on was some of the superstructure was still intact, but not much. Pipes and wiring was holding everything on. We were out there welding I-beams on over the cracks on the fantail, trying to keep the fantail from falling off. We couldn't shoot any more missiles at Iraq because they were worried that we damaged some of the systems. We couldn't use the anchor chain because the whole front end got damaged. We weren't sure what the damage was. And they ended up, it took them 3 days for them to tow us out of the Gulf. I think it was 3 days. Man, it seemed like forever. We're up on tow detail for a while. We were sleeping on the forecastle for a while. I remember getting a whole bunch of guys together, and we took the towing hawser. Now the towing hawser is a big ass rope, for lack of other words. And I mean, huge rope. And we took the towing hawser and we took it midships, that's the middle of the ship, all the way around, back around the fantail and back to the other side midships to help hold the fantail on while they were welding it back together. That was an interesting endeavor because we didn't have any power to pull it around, so we had, I don't know, we had 40-50 guys, and this towing hawser is huge and it's heavy, and we got all these guys out there heaving and hoeing on this thing, trying to make it as tight as we can. It was a lot of people coming together all at once to save the ship. It was pretty cool. Yeah, I could go on and on and on. I'm rambling. I think I'm probably up near 10 minutes by now. But I don't know if you guys are interested in that stuff. It's just me thinking about Cindy and all the stuff we did at Sub Base, and then all the stuff I did during Desert Storm and those guys, and yeah, I had a good career. It was a good life. I'm in touch with a lot of those guys. We've lost a lot of those guys, which is unfortunate, but yeah, fair winds and following seas to all you shipmates out there. It's a good life, trust me. That's it, I'm done rambling. Sorry, I thought you might want to see some of the trail and that. This is Maine. These are what the trails are like here. Granted, you're going up and down a lot, but the trails are relatively easy. And I'm going relatively slow because I'm talking. So I will see you guys later. I was just talking to a couple. They're almost finished. They're at the end of their hike. Their trail name, his name is Always and her name is Sunny. So their trail name together is Always Sunny. Really nice people. Anyway, they're as soon as they're done, they had their bikes shipped up to Maine. They're gonna get on their bikes and they're gonna ride across country, which I think is really cool. So we were talking about the bike ride a little bit, and so they seem really excited about doing that, so it was good for them. Thought I'd share. Well, end of day 35. I don't know if you can tell, but it's raining. But I'm right outside my campsite, so that's good. I'm at this, it's a shelter here, so I'll camp there for tonight. 2 major milestones today. One went over 400 miles. That's a good deal. 400 miles is good. And then today was my first 20-mile day. So after being so mentally challenged yesterday, today I pushed it. I was hoofing it, and it's only 4:30. I did about 2.5 miles an hour today. So really got some miles under my legs today. That was good. No problem with the legs. I don't think I ever breathed hard much today. It was a good day. I sweat a lot, drank a lot, but for the most part. And I changed up a little bit. Instead of stopping every 3 hours for a break, I stopped every 2 hours for a break. And I ate something every 2 hours. I think that had a lot to do with the stamina and endurance I had today. So I might have to adhere to that policy more often. I guess it's sort of like, I don't know, it's just, you know, you don't want to stop because it seems like it's going to slow you down, but if you're refueling more often, you never really run out of fuel. So maybe 3 hours is a little too long to push it. You know, your fuel's starting to run out, and then it takes a little time for the new fuel to kick in. So And I actually sat down for at least 15 minutes on every stop. So I think there's merit to that. I think I'm gonna do that tomorrow and see how it goes. And then again, after doing 20 today, tomorrow I could be blasted. But the other good thing is, this only puts me 30 miles from Stratton. That means I'm in day after tomorrow. That means I could get in. I could actually go into Stratton day after tomorrow, which would be Tuesday night. Spend the day Wednesday and then get back out on trail. So I don't know. Let's see how that goes. It's 30 miles, so that's 2 15s. But if I push an 18 tomorrow, that puts me only 12. I can get 12 knocked out just after lunch on Tuesday. Maybe I go in half day, spend the night, and get out on Wednesday. So we'll give that a shot, see what happens. Anyway, end of day 35. Hope you guys are safe. That's my story.